Hello Voltheads, you are watching the self-proclaimed, sarcastically named Captain KeyForge, also known as PJ Broughton of the Steel City Snufflegators. And now we're on to round 3 of the King of the Monsters series. This is a Timetraveller deck that all 3 gigantic creatures will be taking on this time. Here's the Timetraveller deck. Proclamation as well in Sanctum. We've got Mars Needs Amber and Total Recall in Mars for some capturing and some amber bursting. So looks decent. My opening hand with an auto encoder. That's something that, especially in this deck, it would be nice to get down early. So I decided to keep the opening hand of 7 there. I've decided to go for the sloppy lab work though, to enable me to try and just get through the deck a little bit quicker. Draw a card, archive a card, discard a card, in the hope that we can build up the archive and get to the Ultra Gravitron. So I've archived the Potion of Vulnerability, got rid of the Purify, redrawn back up to 6. Probably don't want to see Resurgence quite that early, but I won't be going into Untamed next time likely anyway. Probably just going to go for the logos, get the auto encoder down. Playing Simon again, favoured alpaca of the Steel City Snufflegators. He's played Titan Librarian on his turn 1. So there's the auto encoder. I've played Lethalogica. I've brought in the bottom half of Ultra Gravitron, which is alright, but it's not ideal. I mean, realistically, when you're playing Lethalogica and you've got one of the halves of Ultra Gravitron, you really don't mind what you draw, but when you haven't got one of the halves of Ultra Gravitron or it's coming, you don't particularly want to see the Ultra Gravitron come out. And just deciding whether or not to bin it into the discard pile and then archive thanks to auto encoder, or to try and keep it and get the Ultra Gravitron out. Ultra Gravitron in the games that we've played so far, the 2 games that you'll have seen, it's yet to make the field. Simon's gone for Mars this time. In the first game, there's a Carpet Flotsam from Simon ×2, and then a Mind Warper. Also played Red Planet Raygun and passed the turn. In the first game there was a discard that discarded Ultra Gravitron right as I was about to play it. So this time I've gone for Sanctum. I've played down the Potion of Vulnerabilities, both of them. Played down Squire Alice to capture 2 because might as well while I'm playing the Sanctum. Also as well, it maybe gives me a chance to get a bit of value out of the Potion of Vulnerabilities. Pass the turn to Simon. And in game 2 Ultra Gravitron didn't come out because the Dark Fairies were just proving too good value and were winning the game. Simon's gone for Eureka there. Game 2 Amber, played a Titan Mechanic, and then played a Titan Librarian, and then passed the turn. So game 1 Ultra Gravitron didn't come out, was very unlucky, like I say, discarded away at random, and then in game 2 it didn't come out because I didn't play it. It just didn't make sense to, because the Dark Fairy show that sometimes Ultra Gravitron and Deusillus end up displaying. So this time I can either go for the Untamed to get the 2 Niffles down and discard the Resurgence, or maybe pull back something to hand, or we can go for the logos, play the sloppy lab work and archive the Gravitron, discard something else, and then I'll obviously put something else into my archive as well. Just deciding which is better. I mean, Simon's on check as well, at 6, forging at 5. Not entirely sure I can get him off with anything, so we've gone for the sloppy lab work. We're archiving Ultra Gravitron. I've discarded the General Salvador, which is also archived for me a Burning Glare, the top card of the deck thanks to auto encoder. and then pass the turn, because yeah, that was all the logos I had. So now Simon's going to be forging for 6. I'm in check on 5, but that's likely to be turned over, because it's thanks to that time mechanic. As soon as something comes down, Simon's going to make sure that the key cost increases to me to 6, which is going to be good play. But yeah, that'll be happening. Also as well, the Mind Warper's down and could potentially capture one from me too, as in capture one onto the Squire Alice that's in place. So yeah, let's see what Simon goes for here. So he's gone for Sanctum. Got 3 cards in the archive as he pulled them. He's pulled the archive, so he's got 8 cards in hand. Play Rotate the Fierce next to the Titan, so increase the key cost to 6. Play Protect the Weak, gives it the taunt. Play the Grey Rider next to it, which will give the fight with neighbour, which will kill the Squire Alice. Potion of Invulnerability comes down. Blinding Light, not there's anyone to stun at the moment. Played it again. Oh no, used it, but there was nothing to stun, so yeah. And then literally Simon's managed to get straight back up to 6 with the killing of Squire Alice and the cards that were played. So that's a very fast to forge and then get back up to 6 and into check again really quick. And again, I haven't got anything that's gonna stop that from happening. What I can do is I could resurgence one of the Sanctum creatures, because unfortunately none of them are mutants, so I can only really bring one back. Possibly maybe a better bringing back Squire Alice and the Seeker of Truth, but I really need to try and get back into the game some way. The constant 2/2/2 hand, that's another that's a 2/2/2 hand. The hand before wasn't much better. With the 1 Sanctum, 3 Untamed, although one of them not really giving me much value that turn, and the 2 logos. Simon's gone for logos again, so he's gone for standardised testing. Well, I discarded that. Played the Igor. Taking a card out of the top 3 into his hand. Put down the Timetraveller, drawn the 2 cards. Played Brain Eater. Still got the Titan to potentially reap with as well. Played Sloppy Labwork, which will archive a card, discard a card. Discarded a Mars creature, Ixalic's Finger. And then reap with the Titan. Mechanic. Got up to 4 so far. There we go, and he's passed the turn. So in this turn he's made 4. The time before that he made 6. And this game is looking like it's going to be over very quickly. I mean, I've got 2 Untamed creatures down and 2 Untamed cards in hand. Although, again, they're not exactly the best Untamed cards in hand when one of them's an Alpha Bumblebird, although we're actually going to see an Alpha Bumblebird work. Look at that! How often does that happen? Not very. There's so much stuff on the board. I can't afford to allow really Simon to just reap massively next turn, but the problem is he's just going to be able to do it anyway, because I haven't got enough things to kill the board and take stuff out to make sure he just can't go mad next turn. So yeah, this is it's not looking good, but that's one of the problems with the Ultra Gravitron deck. To be fair to the Ultra Gravitron deck, out of the 3 decks, it's got the least amount of amber control. So yeah, creature control it's got some potential for amber. I mean, you've got a couple of Dark Fairies, a couple of Resurgences to bring them back. You've got board clear in, I mean, look at that Troop Call with every Niffle creature that I've got in the deck already on the board. Brilliant. Brilliantly timed. Card not. I mean, also as well, you know, you have got board clears, you've got Charge, you've got Savage Clash, Diametric Charge ×2. But yeah, just not a lot else really. So there we go, total recall to gain an amber for every creature that was down. Now it's got up to 12. That's going to be the game, and Ultra Gravitron has just really been blown out by a deck that is much better at producing amber quickly than the Ultra Gravitron is. There's Ultra Gravitron finally, so yeah, 1 turn too late in terms of getting it out. If it had come maybe a couple of turns earlier and I could have actually started purging some of his creatures to get him off the field, that massive total recall turn wouldn't have worked. But yeah, didn't really get the creature control cards. Got some bad draw there with 2/2/2, 2/2/2. Cards that were useless because, oh, bring out all the Niffle creatures. Oh yeah, they're already on the board. But yeah, I mean, it happens. Look at the last game, all those Dark Fairies down at one time, fighting over and over. The Gravitron deck got some really lucky draw last time. So yeah, after 3 games, Gravitron's won 1 game, forged 4 keys, and played no times. So both Niffle Kong and Deusillus have played 1 game less and have performed better, both forging 1 key more, and Niffle Kong being out on the field 4 times in 2 games, whereas in 3 games Ultra Gravitron hasn't even made it out. So certainly of the 3 decks, the Niffle Kong's the one performing best so far. We'll see how Niffle Kong gets on against the Timetraveller deck, and that game should be up on Thursday. So yeah, thanks for watching. So feel free to like and subscribe. I love comments and criticism, so please feel free to leave those. I'll hope to see you next time, but until then, may the forge be with you.